In this video, you will learn easy to follow steps that will produce more sour in your sourdough bread. I guarantee it. But first, let's go on a brief dog sled ride in Alaska, where I was the cook at a lodge 35 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Hi, I'm Ron, and thanks for clicking on this video. And if you're new here, please check out my other YouTube videos and click the subscribe button. Probably the question I get asked the most is, Ron, how do I get more sour in my sourdough bread? Well, the first step is to use my no discard method for feeding your starter, rather than the levain or leavening method. So, assuming you're using my no discard method, in this video I will walk you through the complete process start to finish, with a very important summary at the end of the video. Please remember, this video demonstrates how to get more sour in your sourdough bread and is significantly different than my regular sourdough bread method. Okay then, let's begin. Today begins like most other days. I'll be making a 2-loaf batch of sourdough, and my recipe calls for 200 grams of sourdough starter. So I feed my jar of starter 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. Usually I wait until my sourdough starter has doubled in volume. Then I add the starter to flour, water, and salt to make sourdough. But today I'm going to wait until the starter in the jar has peaked and fallen back to about 50% of its rise. It's been 30 minutes since mixing and time for one stretch and fold before putting the bowl of dough in the fridge overnight. The first stretch and fold should last long enough to ensure that all the flour is hydrated. It's the following morning. At this point, I just follow my normal bulk fermentation routine, which is 2 or 3 stretch and folds at 30-minute intervals, followed by 1 or 2 coil folds also at 30-minute intervals, then a 2-hour rest, or as long as it takes for the sourdough to increase in volume by 30 to 50%. I have a separate YouTube video titled Stretch and Fold or Coil Fold devoted entirely to bulk fermentation that I encourage you to also watch. The sourdough is increased in volume and it's time to pre-shape, rest for 10 minutes, then final shape. I weigh each half to ensure that each loaf is about the same size. That was 867, and let's see what this one weighs. 874, close enough. I lightly flour the bannetons so the sourdough won't stick. The dough is rested 10 minutes. It's time for final shaping and into the fridge for 2 nights. The bannetons of dough have been in the fridge for 2 nights. The Dutch ovens have been preheating at 450 degrees. It's time to bake. The bread has been baking for 30 minutes. Let's see how it looks. Oh my, isn't that bread beautiful? Now back into the oven for another 12 to 15 minutes at the reduced temperature of 400 degrees. Is finished baking. I'll wait 60 minutes before slicing. But isn't that bread beautiful? I like to check the internal temperature. Anything over 200 is good. And this one is 202. And this one is 203. Perfect. I have tasted this sourdough bread, and it definitely has a stronger sour taste than the sourdough bread using my regular method. Let's review the 3 changes that produce more sour in the sourdough bread. Thanks again for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, please click the like button and make it a great day.